rocket is now taken off to the launch site. At the railway halt, another detachment of the crew responsible for the specialised task of fuelling the rocket arrives to connect the pump that will enable transfer of the liquid oxygen from the sealed railway container holding the cooled fluid into the mobile container, from whence it will be pulled by lorry to the launch site of the V2. Once all the pipe connections are made, the valves are opened and the transfer of the cooled liquid oxygen begins. The low temperature of the liquid is evident from the white colour of the connecting pipes and in the vapour venting off into the air. At the chosen launch site, another Vorn Zugmaschinen pulls a trailer which carries the launching base for the V2. The crew begin the task of setting up the launcher. On each corner of the launch platform is an adjustable telescoping support. They are lowered by crank and placed onto the ground in preparation for the arrival and erection of the rocket. While this particular exercise clearly employs a hard stand, which makes the task easier, in actuality the mobility of the V2 permitted it to employ any fairly level clearing in a forest to launch the rocket. In order to stop the whole edifice from sinking into the ground or toppling over, railway sleepers or lengths of steel girder were placed onto the ground. The crew would then rest the 4 supporting jacks of the launcher on these. Such methods were used in erecting the launchers in The Hague. Prior to raising the rocket, a number of the crew place a special cradle on the nose. This will help in the final adjustment to the warhead just before the V2 is launched. The Milewagen is then winched towards the launching platform by the Vorn towing vehicle. This has parked itself behind the launch platform. Cables are run through to the Milewagen and it's pulled towards the launching pad. Having reversed the trailer so that the base of the rocket faces the launch platform, the Vorn then disconnects itself and leaves it up to the ground crew to literally pull and manhandle the trailer and V2 so that it arrives in exactly the correct position for raising. This process is then carried out employing the hydraulics on the trailer itself. This is a slow process as it's vital that the base of the 4 fins of the V2 align totally with the bottom of the launching platform. Very slowly, the V2 inches up from the horizontal into a near vertical position. Very great care is exercised during this procedure. When the boom operator is certain all is well, the gantry is pulled away, leaving the V2 resting by itself and without support on its launching platform. At this stage of the process, the rocket commander gives the word by radio for the fuel lorries to make their way to the rocket for the next and most dangerous phase of the launch cycle to begin. The gantry is then manhandled away from the standing rocket by the ground crew. They also check that all is well by a quick but expert examination of the rocket and platform. Civilian surveyors attached to the launch team use their theodolites to ensure that the missile is correctly aligned to the vertical, as even a slight deviation could affect the path of the rocket through the air and thus its accuracy. Another member of the crew now arms the warhead. Although fitted earlier, this particular exercise was not carried out. Down below, the mobile generators are brought up to begin powering a number of the rocket's internal systems, such as the turbo pumps, and help in the fueling process, which is due to begin shortly. The fueling pipes are being connected. The liquid oxygen tank on the V2 has a capacity of 12,200 pounds and is mixed with 9,201 pounds of ethyl alcohol and 379 pounds of hydrogen peroxide to enable the rocket to generate the 55,000 pounds of thrust needed to propel it on its journey. Following the liquid oxygen, the last important ingredient is the sodium permanganate, which is added to the lower fuel tank at the bottom of the rocket. The next step is to assemble the igniter, which works on the principle of the Catherine wheel. Activity around the site is now much greater as the time for the launch approaches. As the final adjustments are made to the base of the missile, including checking the motion and alignment of the guidance vanes, all vehicles and other personnel make their way from the scene to take cover. The igniter is placed in the Venturi and connected up. The V2 is now ready for launching. The launch is made from within an armoured variant of an 8-ton half-track.
Schüssel steht, aufschießen. Belüftung klar, Zündung klar, Vorstufe klar.
While of questionable military value, the V2 was undoubtedly a remarkable technical achievement. Perhaps the most fitting epitaph for this most potent of all of Germany's advanced aircraft and rockets were the words spoken by Walter Dornberger to Wernher von Braun, the V2's designer, on the day of its first successful launch. Do you realize what we have accomplished today? Today, the spaceship was born.